Outside.
Well, after a little wait to let the rest of the draw catch up, we have reached the quarterfinal stages here on the streaming board at Women's Series number 9. It is the final one today. We have seen wins already for Fallon Sherrock and Lisa Ashton, and both are still in the tournament. But this quarterfinal sees Deta Hedman, an icon of the sport, against a 3-time world champion in Anastasia Dobromyslova. And by our calculations, if Deta were to lose this game, it would mean that Fallon Sherrock is guaranteed a spot at the World Championship. It would also mean that Lisa Ashton would be just 1 pound away from guaranteeing her spot at the World Championship and joining Fallon Sherrock there. It would take Anna to win the title today and go and win all 3 tomorrow to dislodge Lisa Ashton.
Yeah, it looks very likely that it will be that pair, but confirmation pending right now. Deta Hedman, still the only other woman to have picked up a title at the Women's Series at all, having done so last year to get herself into the World Championship at the expense of Sherrock. Expect to see Sherrock return to the stage where she produced those history-making victories. It will be a fantastic atmosphere in front of a crowd. And for the first time, having Lisa Ashton and Fallon Sherrock there together, I think certainly will be something special.
Yeah, Fallon Sherrock taking on Donna Maria Rainsley. In fact, I think she might have won that game now. Yes, she has, by 4-0. Lisa Ashton has won her quarterfinal by 4-0 against Trina Gulliver. So the two big guns have progressed through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, on a collision course once again for another final meeting.
Yeah, the quarterfinal got an Ireland versus Northern Ireland clash in Katie Sheldon versus Denise Cassidy. The winner of that faces Lisa Ashton, with the winner of this one going up against Fallon Sherrock. But of course, there is the other factor. Oh, why has she done that? Oh no, sorry, I think the scoreboard was wrong there. So Anastasia is on 226, Deta is on 249. I was wondering why Anna was staying on the 19s. It's because she knew something that our scoreboard monkey didn't.
85.
Well, that has left Deta Hedman on a finish, 164. Remember, as Dan said, Anastasia on 226. So needs a treble.
45.
Can't get one. 2 visits at the very least for Hedman to clean up the 164 that she's left after 5 visits.
Down for the 19s.
44.
Yeah, sensible to leave herself on a Shanghai finish of 120. Anastasia could put herself in a great position here, though. May think about the bullseye. Well, she came down. Couldn't find the treble she wanted, so is stuck on a finish which may require the bullseye at the end of it.
Deta couldn't finish the 120 after the first start. Strayed away from the portion she was looking for. So this 124
67
could get an early break of throw for Anna.
I'll stay on the 18s to try and leave a double.
42.
And just a loose last start from the pair of them in their last visits. Deta's coming back looking at the 53. She should have been looking at tops, but missed the big number. There's the big number she needs. And down for double 10.
43.
Well, the conventional wisdom is to go for the bullseye on this route. Not a conventional visit. Not even a shot at the bullseye at the end of the visit.
Well, it's exactly where she hit last time, isn't it? When she was going for the 18 segment, she's dragged it low into the 4s. But one way or another, she's left herself on top. Not that it will matter, because Deta pins the double 5. It is not the greatest of starts to this contest, but Deta Hedman gobbles up the leg to go 1-0 up. Remember, it's not just the race for the World Championship spots we've got this weekend. There is also a spot at the Grand Slam of darts. Fallon Sherrick is already there. Lisa Ashton is in pole position to take the 2nd spot for this weekend. But Deta is in the hunt. So is Katie Sheldon and Denise Cassidy. So that quarter-final between Sheldon and Cassidy, somebody is going to move up to
100.
a little bit closer. Probably the 4th spot. Maybe 5th spot in that race for it.
Plenty of history between this pair as well. Anastasia beat Deta Hedman to win one of her World Championship titles.
Yeah, that was 2012. It was her 2nd world title. Defended that title, won it the following year. Hasn't won one since. Been a long old gap. But that has seen the rise of Lisa Ashton, of course.
125.
They've met a few times recently as well in the final of the England Open. Hedman won that one 6-2. Semi-finals in different events in Denmark at the start of this month, each of them winning one of those 4-2. First meeting in the women's series this year. They did meet last year. A 4-2 win for Deta Hedman in a tournament here in Barnsley that she actually went on to win.
68.
And I know we've talked about these being long days and players potentially struggling, but Anastasia, she'll be just glad to be on a run here and have reached this stage. She went out in the very first round of event 8. She was beaten by Lorraine Hyde. She won a couple of games in the first one today before losing that epic last leg decider to Mikuru Suzuki, with her both stuck in a madhouse in the first event today, when she'd played really beautifully throughout the match. It was a cracking game. She should have won it. And she'd played brilliantly in the 2 games prior to that. So she's on a run here. She wants to go all the way to the final and pick this up, to actually make today a success. Anything less than, say, reaching the final, I think would be a big disappointment for her, because she believes that she's quite capable of getting a spot at the Grand Slam.
Has to do better in those kind of spots. Hedman held the door open there for Dobromyslova, and she tripped over on the welcome mat. 24 from Hedman.
140.
She's not playing those games this time around.
Leaves 44. Anastasia. She's going to come down for the 17s again. She did this in the last leg. And this time she gets the treble, and it leaves a 90. A lot better than the 1-2-4, although it could be a dart at the bullseye to wrap it up if she's allowed to go. Single 12 leaves double 16. Beautiful stuff from Deta Hedman. 17 darter, no messing around on the doubles this time. She opens up a 2-leg lead.
The winner of this will take on Fallon Sherrick in the semi-finals. So we spoke about what would happen, what would be confirmed if Deta Hedman were to lose this match. Well, if she wins it, Fallon can confirm her own spot by beating her in the last 4.
Yeah, and look, we're in a situation now where it's going to take Deta or Anna not only to go and win here, but to win all 3 events tomorrow. That is hugely unlikely.
Yeah, and probably Fallon and Lisa to go
not
home.
win any money at all, yeah. I mean, it's hugely unlikely, but it's sport. Strange things happen.
38.
Nobody would have expected Kirk Shepherd to make a World Championship final.
As our great friend and supreme commentator Rod Studd would say, any outcome is possible, no matter how unlikely it may seem.
Rod, evidently not a man that has seen Chris Murphy toe the oche with a 170 finish required then.
140.
Believe it or not, it has happened. However unlikely it may seem to you, Dan.
Seems impossible to me, Murph. Occam's razor suggests you're lying.
Well, that's the difference between me and you. You see, you're a pessimist. I'm an optimist. And I believe
Fantasist.
anything is possible. Even the word itself says, I'm possible.
It's been a long day. Chris Murphy's gone full Raymond van Barneveld.
60.
Deta unable to leave a finish, but Anna's got to up a game here a little. She's not that far off, but she's far enough off.
100.
And again, she's left 181. Now, she's left this in both the previous legs. She could only leave 124, and it got in a mess after that. She could leave 90 afterwards, but Deta was already too far ahead. Where's Deta going to be here? Well, this is a real chance for Anastasia
41.
to do something. Set it up well. She's more than likely going to come back. Make sure it's a makeable checkout.
Well, that's good. That's decent stuff. A good switch from Dobromyslova to leave herself on 90. And it's a more than makeable checkout.
And this time she will get a go at it. Deta denied her that opportunity in the last leg. And she's got different options here. Could go 20s, could go 18s, could go straight at the bullseye.
Well, surely she goes 20s or bull, not 18s. It is 20s. And now it is the bull.
51.
Does she come back?
Deta was very good at taking out these sorts of finishes earlier on when we saw her on the stream.
They had a 120 and a 118 in that match. She's not going to add the 112 to her roll of honour for the day.
42.
So a chance for Dobromyslova to cut the gap to a single leg with a break of throat.
Choosing to go for the double 18. Okay, choosing to go for the double 16. And pinning it. Should have gone there first time round.
So 2-1 here to Deta Hedman. Fallon Sherrock awaiting the winner. Lisa Ashton awaiting the winner of that match between Katie Sheldon and Denise Cassidy. That's 2 apiece right now.
$85. $76. $43.
Not scoring like she would want to do, Anastasia. Feels like if she's going to turn this game around and win it, it's going to be a bit of a battle. Seen her play some good stuff today, but this is at the bottom end of her sort of performance spectrum, if you like. At least from what we've seen so far in this one.
49.
Well, Deta Hedman reached the final of the last event on the first day of the first set of Women's Series events in Milton Keynes
59.
a month ago. And actually, it was a really good final. Both players averaged in the 90s. Fallon Sherrock averaging 97 to beat Hedman 5-3. It had a similar feel to this event where it's fair to say that the averages in general have dropped for the last event of the day as players may have tired. And we were kind of worried going into that final thinking, well, is Deta Hedman, one of the senior players on tour, going to struggle with fatigue? But none of it. It was a really good final. You just think when you get to that point, maybe the adrenaline kicks in and the occasion is risen to.
Well, you know it's do or die, don't you? You know there's no more games to play that day. And you can give it literally everything you have. Deta just rolling her head around, just stretching out. It's a long old time to playing darts. I know, you know, you might smirk when you think, oh, just throwing darts, isn't it? But it is an action that they are replicating. They've been here since before 9 o'clock in the morning, a lot of them.
100.
It has been 10 hours of playing and practicing and practicing.
It's actually only one of 2 finals that we'd had in that last set where both players had averaged more than 90.
And how about this for a bit special?
Yep.
It's in. Double top for a 151. Oh, very nearly magnificent.
That was a very welcome interruption. I was just going to say that it was only one of 2 finals, the other being the 5-4 between Lisa Ashton and Fallon Sherrick, and actually Deta had a higher average in her defeat to Fallon than either Fallon or Lisa had in that 5-4 match. That was the first final of a day as well.
For 3-1. That looks quite a good guide. But
20.
she can't use it properly, and 3 darts missed, and she's gone from almost pulling out a 151 to potentially losing the leg.
Well, that's okay. 8-8. And she finds it to level up this quarter-final at 2 legs each.
Clench of the fist from Anastasia. Back in this one.
I'll tell you what, you mentioned it's tiring on the players. Now, not all of them. Some of them, it will seem like they're involved in every match, in every round, but a little word to our match official there, Andrew Davis, who's been adding up the numbers all day long.
100.
He's had to keep his concentration.
Yeah, there are 2 things that Andrew Davis loves. One of them is numbers. One of them is tapping things with his finger, and we found the perfect job for him. Loves what he does.
95.
Well, he's got a front row seat to some excellent games.
42.
Three in that other quarter-final still going on between Katie Sheldon and Denise Cassidy, although it looks like Sheldon is a healthy advantage in the last leg decider. Be a great result for her to reach her first Women's Series semi-final.
Yeah, and a chance to have a crack at Lisa Ashton, the 4-time Ladies World Champion. I presume we'll be showing that semi-final on this streaming board. I haven't had confirmation, but I think that's the way it'll go.
81.
Deta leaves a 165. It won't matter unless Anastasia can pick up a couple of trebles. She's consistently just below where she needs to be on that treble 20. Not dramatically so, but enough. It must be frustrating because it's been a regular problem. But once again, Anastasia leaves herself on 181. Now she's come up trebleless and lost the leg. She's found 1 treble and wasn't even allowed to go at the 90 checkout she left.
95.
And she did get to 90 and have a go at it and miss the bullseye. Can she just get rid of 181 in 2 visits?
But if she is to do that, it would take a supersized outshot when she returns, and first she has to hope that Hedman does not hit this.
19 and ball. It is the ball. Oh, and that is so close.
It almost displaced the metal ring. And this isn't going to happen. Hedman coming back, trying to
55.
clean up the remainder to edge 1 ahead and 1 away from a place in the semi-finals.
Double 4 the target. Down for double 2.
23.
And now Deta is stuck in the madhouse with Anastasia back on 85. It was a bit of a gift for Anna in the previous leg. Double 5 will give her another.
80.
Just a little bit of anguish from Anastasia there. She knows what a big moment that could have been. Now she's hoping. Now she's praying. But Deta does the business. Lands double 1 and is 1 leg from contesting a semi-final with Fallon Sherrock. It turned out, of course, it was a semi-final of the Women's Series last year that Deta won 5-1 against Sherrock that proved to be the difference.
Yeah, it went down to legs 1, didn't it?
Sherrock wouldn't have known it, nor Deta at the time. I think she was still quite surprised that she qualified come the end of all the events.
I think everyone was. Nobody knew it at the time, did they? Didn't realise it was going to have to go to all these criterion come the end of it.
We have now had confirmation that Katie Sheldon against Lisa Ashton will be the semi-final on this stream. Following this, more or less straight away, Sheldon has won that match 4-3 against Denise Cassidy. Excellent showing from her today.
Well, there's life in this game yet. Anastasia started this 6th leg in lively fashion. And you'd have to say, whoever comes through this, it's not been the most convincing of displays. They are fully 20, 30 points off their best games in terms of the averages. Doesn't matter, it's about getting the job done. They're going to need their best, you would think, in the semi-finals and the final if they are to go on and claim the title. They might need their best over the next 5 minutes here. Just a little burst of it to get over the line.
$55.
Well, is this the start of such a burst?
140.
Excellent, excellent visit from Dobromyslova to leave herself on 85. Hedman needing something enormous now. Can't leave a finish wherever this dart lands.
5.
Well, for a potential 14 darter. Let's go to the 18s here, I think. Okay, well that leaves double 5. And she's bust it, and that is the most ridiculous piece of board management I've seen all day. It makes 0 sense to do that. Deta's not on a finish. She's given herself a ridiculous double to go for, and now she's all the way back at 85, and she's only got herself to blame.
I just wonder, Dan, whether she assumed that Deta was on a finish and didn't even look at Hedman's score.
Well, it was a poor assumption to make, wasn't it?
43.
What, my assumption or hers?
Hers, if it was such an assumption.
Well, I'm assuming it was.
Are we doing the same? It's going to be the bull this time. Ooh, got the line bang on, just Didn't quite give it enough.
At that time it was the right route with Hedman on a finish. Annoyingly, Dan is absolutely right.
And Hedman. And if Anastasia wins this game, then Lisa Ashton, who we'll see in the next match on this board, the semi-final, she knows that if she beats Katie Sheldon, gets through to the final, she'll be going to Alexandra Palace. That is my reading of the qualification right now.
Yeah, and Fallon Sherrock, who awaits the winner of this, will know that she's already there. The Queen will return to the Palace. Nice show of respect between the pair before this leg started.
42.
I think you've got to respect any player, whatever age you are, that gets this far in a tournament when it's a third of the day.
Well, over and above that, if you don't respect Deta Hedman and three-time world champion Anastasia Dobromyslova, you don't respect the sport. Absolute icon, Deta Hedman. And how about this?
140.
Trading ton 40s, these two, in a last leg decider. In what could be a hugely significant result, because whoever wins this is quite capable of beating Fallon Sherrock in the semis and reaching the final. If that were to happen, we may look back on this match with significance, added significance, because it could be a deciding factor in who ends up going to the Grand Slam.
Well, where has she dug this out from? Deta Hedman. She started this leg with 2 scores in the 40s and followed it with 2 scores of 140.
If there's been a frustration to her game, it's Anastasia's set-up play from around this area, but she picks up the treble to leave herself on a 1 treble finish. Neck and neck, pretty much. Deta, there's loads of room for another in there. But she'll have to set it up and hope that Anna can't take out the 101, and she hasn't set it up exactly how she'd want.